Go ahead and start the recording. Well, welcome everyone to ICF Orange County this is actually our last Tuesday session of the year. In fact, we only have one event left. I'll say more about that towards the end, and that's our holiday party. But as we join together this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you're zooming in from, it's great to welcome you again. My name is Daryl Kozak. I'm the program director and president-elect this year. And great to see all of you as we gather for this time together of learning, of conversation, and empowerment. And it's my honor and privilege to introduce to you Jonathan Reitz. Jonathan was my first mentor in coach training way back in the day. I won't say how long. I don't want to say, when we were both just, we weren't kids, but we were, it's been a while.
It was about 4 hours ago, Daryl. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, right. And what I always like about this is even though I've known Jonathan for many, many years, we've never met in person. In fact, I first learned Zoom from him back in 2015, 2016, when his company switched over that. He is the director of training and CEO of Fluxify, as well as holding the master certified credential with ICF, as well as the advanced certificate in the training certificate program with ICF. In fact, with that coach training program with ICF, he was one of the subject experts for doing the core competencies for that program. He is also a top-rated speaker with WBEX. I think at our last chapter meeting, we had mentioned some WBEX speakers. That's the World Business and Executive Coaching Summit. He also teaches at Case Western University?
Case Western Reserve University, yeah.
Yeah, Case Western Reserve University, where he is in the program for coach training. And he is also an AI, an artificial intelligence task force member of ICF. And I saw him a couple months ago talking about AI and how that works with coaching, and in fact, even beyond the coaching world. I think that's pretty much the main things with that. I do want to mention he's the author of Coaching Hacks, and I can't see that little undertitle there, but Coaching Hacks, which came out a few years ago. I've read this book probably at least twice cover to cover. I'm not saying that to get any pat on my back, Jonathan. And I've referred to that often. And he had mentioned also that he's working on another book. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but
no, that's all right. I don't mind it being out.
There you go. Yeah, to get that plug. He lives in Cleveland, Ohio, where he had been 3 years as the president of that chapter of ICF. And he lives with his wife, Joy, and daughter, Julia. And it's my honor and privilege again to welcome Jonathan to ICF Orange County.
Daryl, thank you very much. It's great to see all of you. Thank you for being here. Excited about today's conversation. Can you even believe that we're in the last month of the year already? Is it just me, or did 2023 go faster than any year previously? I think that there were only about 65 days in 2023. We've shortened the year kind of dramatically. They say, I always joked about this when I was a younger man, that no, the years don't actually go any faster. The time doesn't actually speed up. Well, you know what? This year did. This is really the first year I can just step back and say, you know what? It feels like it was just January 15th. And here we are now at December 5th. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you, to look back at the year that was and to set the stage for the year to come. Now, the end of the year is always the natural time to do this. It's always it always makes sense to, I agree, Brenda, it went too fast this year. It always makes great sense. It's a great opportunity to step back and say, what went well during the current year? And what do I intentionally want to change in the year to come? Now, I'm going to ask you to join me in, let's call it a somatic exercise right now. We're going to get our bodies involved in coaching, although not in the typical way that coaches get their bodies involved in coaching, because I just want to illustrate the core idea we're going to use today in this session. So I want you to do what I do over the next minute. Maybe it'll be 90 seconds. So first of all, part one of this session is, and do this, put your hand up like this, is we're going to review. I'm sorry, I've got that digital thing where my Yeah, I'm just going to warn you. I've got this digital thing going on where all my camera recognizes a bunch of gestures. I've got a whole bunch of them. You're probably going to see balloons at a time I don't anticipate it in the course of the session today. So please be entertained by that. Now, first and foremost, we're going to review what happened in the year that passed. Then we're going to look ahead to the year that's in front of us. But where we're going to really spend the majority of our time is exploring this area in the middle. We're going to target our questions about what's to come, our plans at this area in the middle, as we move from what has already happened to what we want to see happen. We're going to spend a bunch of time in this middle area. All right. So thank you very much. I appreciate you participating in the yes, that's right. It's like jazz hands. You know, if you want to end that little motion with the jazz hands, that would be fine with me. Because we've got a lot to be excited about. I think we've got a lot to have fun with. Now, as we get started, I'm about to share my screen. I am going to give you a heads up. You need your computer, you need your internet connection like that. You also need you're going to need your phone too. Because we're going to do our polls by our phone. We're going to make our phone into our ally here in the course of the conversation today. We're going to use our phones to gather reflections. We're also going to be in some breakouts and in some conversations with each other, reminding ourselves about some of the things that have happened in the past and what we're looking for in the future. All right. So we're ready to go. Let's jump in on the whole idea of building a year in review process. I have nothing to add to the introduction that Daryl gave me, other than to say there's a photo of me. Here's how to contact me if you want to follow up after the fact. That's my email address. That's the best way to get a hold of me. That's my office number. I'm going to reveal my age now. I'm going to say to you, don't text me because I can't keep up on all the text messages I get. I have a 21-year-old daughter. I've never seen a human being handle text messages more effectively than she does. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. Right now, I have 194 unanswered text messages on my phone right now since yesterday morning at 9 a.m. I can't keep up. So please don't text me. Email. I won't say that I'm fast in responding, but I do respond. And if you call me and leave me a voicemail, I always call you back. So if there's something I can do for you as we move forward, that's how to get a hold of me. In the old days, there used to be this website called Twitter, which occasionally had fun insights on coaching and talent development and things like that. From what I understand, nobody goes there anymore, but I still put my my handle out there from time to time. That's how to keep in touch moving forward. Well, here we are. 2024, almost upon us. I want to invite you to do an amazing and miraculous thing. I want you to think back to New Year's Eve last year. Anybody remember what you did on New Year's Eve last year? You can unmute yourself and call it out or put it in the chat area if you want. If you have a memory of what you did on New Year's Eve last year, that would be that's the right context for all of this, for this conversation that we're in this afternoon. Laura says probably in bed by 10 p.m. Yeah, well, it was 10 p.m. for you was 1 a.m. for me, so you did really well. Well done. You made it to the new year, at least on the in Eastern time. I think we made it to the new year. I think, but we didn't make it by much. Let's just put it that way. And we may have woken up just to go to just to watch the ball drop and then gone upstairs and gone to bed. So it wasn't especially notable. But we were in Denver with your daughter. Okay, so you had to stay up an hour later. Most people can't remember. Well, the 24th is your son's birthday. Okay. All right. That's good. So you've got some context for what was happening for you at the beginning of the year. I want you, however, to think a little bit more specifically. And to do this, I want to invite you to go over to a website called menti.com. We're going to gather input. We're going to gather content from the group at menti.com. And I'd like you to put this meeting number in the when it asks you for it. I'm putting it in the chat area here. 6397.
Jonathan, you want us to do that on our cell phones?
I do want you to do that on your phone. That would be ideal. If you did that on your phone, you're going to see this really pretty picture of 2024 showing up on your phone there. If you go to menti.com on the on your browser on your phone, I'm going to ask you a couple of key questions here. Like I say, it's going to give you a number here, 63970047, and then join. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's got you excited about 2024, but we're going to do that by starting with thinking back to where you were on December 31st, 2022. What was the state of your coaching? If you think back to that, maybe put in, you don't have to put in 3 words. It gives you 3 blanks. You can just put in 1 or 2. But what was the state of your coaching? No, I'm just gonna, to be honest with you, the one I'm gonna put in is I was rusty. I was in a rut last year at the beginning of the year because I hadn't had very many flat stasis. Yeah, you see, I put my own words in there. Go ahead and think. I want you to think about that. Becoming, evolving. Oh, there's some good coach words. We like to say stuff like that, don't we? We coaches. You get a group of coaches together, and it's usually about 15 minutes until somebody talks about how they're becoming or they're evolving. All right. So more service oriented. Oh, that's an interesting comment. Had some money fear. Oh, interesting. Oh, your coaching was backseated. Oh, these are very interesting. These are very interesting comments about the state of your coaching at the beginning of the year. Was in flux. Well, I run a company called Fluxify, so I'm never going to complain about people being in flux. That's a state of energy that I appreciate hearing about. All right. It was good. It was fine. It was okay. It was evolving. It was interesting. All right. Good. Good. Let's see if we've got, okay, we're getting a couple more in. It was backseated. It was interesting. There was had some money fear. Yeah, been there. Been there. We're all shooting each other kind of straight here, aren't we? All right. Oh, my camera just kicked out. That's weird. Let's see if I can turn it back on. Wonder what just happened there. Well, it's not letting me. Well, we're going to go without my camera for the moment here while I play around with it and see if we can't come up with a solution. All right, we've got some camera flux. That's right, Laura. It's exactly what's happening. That was back for a second and then it wasn't. All right, let's go to the next question about December 31st, 2022. What was the state of your business? How healthy were things in your business at that particular moment? Oh, there's my other camera. So I'll speak to you over there for the time being until I figure out what's going on with my other camera. Go ahead and type in the state of your business. I don't know what the heck is going on with my camera. That's really weird. What is this? What was the state of your coaching business on the building confidence, a little bit stagnant? All right. All right. That's interesting. Was hanging on. Coaching was deprioritized. Oh, your coaching business was deprioritized. That's an interesting reaction in and of itself. Yeah. I 100% can relate to a lot of these reactions about how things are going, what it was like to prioritize your business at that particular moment. Not as important. Okay, good, good. Not going to give you as much, quite as much time to log into this particular reaction, because I want to invite you to think about one last question about the state of your business, about the state of things in 2023. I want to invite you to think, as the year began, actually, how happy were you? How happy were you? You know, you might just I debated putting a scale, like a 1 to 10 scale on this particular question. Decided to leave it open ended, to build a word cloud. Okay, very right on. Okay. Now that 5. Now, if you're going to put a number in there, do me a favor and put 5 of 10. Give us a sense of what the scale is. If you're going to throw that in, very happy, growing, content. All right, good. So you can get a sense that as the year was beginning, unmotivated. My goodness, how many of us have been there? Been to that situation where no matter what was going on, the level of motivation that we could bring to the table, not quite what we were aiming for. Okay. I don't remember how happy I was. Now, what does that say? What does that say? That's an interesting set of challenges in and of itself. If we don't remember where we were happiness wise, there's all kinds of answers that could fit in that particular situation, isn't there? If we're not able to keep ourselves on top of what we've got going on in that coaching moment, could be a little tricky to stay on top of it. All right, 3 of 10, 5 of 10. All right, good. So we've jumped into where we were at the beginning of the year. Now I want to change the question. I want to do what coaches do to us sometimes. I forgot we're on this camera now. I want to do what coaches do to each other, to our clients sometimes. And I want to change the question one more time. I want to invite you to reflect a little bit on what really went well in 2023. And yeah, I'm gonna make it, type it into the chat area, or into the Mentimeter. You don't have to put your name on it. You can if you want, but you don't have to put your name on it. But what really went well? And I want to challenge you to think about what went well. Let's start with, maybe you want to think about what went well in your business or in your coaching. What made good things happen? Or what was especially satisfying for you in your coaching? I think that's that can be a powerful thing. Now, somebody's anticipating where I was going to add, what the wrinkle I was going to throw into all this is, what went well for you with your family? What went well with your fitness or your financial life, or what was just an unexpected surprise? My health got better. Love that. Love seeing that. Created an accredited coach training program. Right on. Congratulations. I am I am fully convinced that what the world needs is more coaches. I'm dead serious when I say this. So I'm very excited to see that more accredited coach training programs are showing up, because that's the fast track to the world being a better place, in my opinion. So love seeing that. Excited to see that's the case. That some of those good things are going on. All right. All right. Now, you know the next question, don't you? You know what I'm going to ask you about next? What didn't you accomplish, or what maybe didn't go well in 2023 that you were thinking was going to be important for you? Either everybody's being very humble, or nobody wants to acknowledge that there was something that they took on this year that they, oh, okay, thank goodness. Website marketing work. Yeah. Boy, I hear that. Are you reading my mail? You know, some of the things, some of the dreams I had about marketing my one of my various websites, it just didn't happen this year. Oh, PC. Oh, I feel your pain. I do. I truly feel your pain. Full disclosure. And Daryl, you're probably not allowed to listen to this because I probably was your instructor when this was happening. But I didn't pass my PCC the first time. All right. Since we're disclosing things, I didn't pass my MCC the first time either. But the second time, in both cases, no problem. It took a little while, but it's worth it. The journey to that destination is absolutely worth it. So I would urge you to. I see a couple of notes about a credential in here. Keep at it. Keep at it. Getting my printer to work. Boy, I relate to that one too. My 21-year-old daughter keeps reminding me that no one uses paper anymore. And I say, well, we adults do. And she doesn't really think that's funny. I don't know why. But yeah, I feel for that one. All right. Predictable pipeline, resolution of health issue. I feel for you there. More coaching training, increase my client load, less family time. I'm assuming you had less family time than you wanted. You weren't aiming for less family time in 2023, and those darn family members just sucked up all my available time. Although I have a family member like that. This isn't being recorded, is it, Daryl? Yeah. I didn't just say that in public, did I? Okay. All right. So I want you to think about that side by side a little bit. What did you accomplish? And what maybe fell a little short? Now, you all are clearly an exceptional group. Oh yeah, that's right. Again, I got to remember to look over at this camera now because my main camera's not on. You all are clearly an exceptional group, because most groups come up with way more things they didn't accomplish than things they did. Do you know why? Anybody know why? Our brains are naturally wired to focus on the negative. That is a neurological reality that all of us have to deal with. The fact of the matter is, because of the self-protective nature of living in the world, we have to focus. We have adapted, we have evolved to focus on negative or threatening circumstances much more naturally, much more easily then we focus on positive or productive circumstances. So we have to work a little extra hard to stay focused on the positive things, the things that we're after. Now, this is going to be a sub theme for the rest of our conversation. This idea that we have to choose to focus on positive things in our planning, in our thinking, in our self-perception. We have to intentionally move ourselves into the environment where we think about positive things, where we frame our circumstances in a positive way. You know, it's not the they don't teach this to you on the first day of brain scientist school, but they probably teach it to you in the first week. That all of us, no matter what, are more naturally predisposed to remember negative outcomes than positive outcomes. In fact, it takes 10 times more neural energy to move a positive occurrence into our long-term memory than it does to preserve a negative occurrence. Because of the way the neural networks in our brains, the neurons in our brains are formed. And there are just that many more neural connections around self-protection and avoidance of danger and being on guard than being positive and moving toward things that matter to us. You know, controlling our own self-development, controlling our own understanding. So it is to our advantage to overdo the focusing on the positive. And, you know, if you don't take anything else away from this conversation today, I hope you will take this challenge. I learned this from a brain scientist friend of mine, a guy named Dr. Mark Baker. He's a South African guy who runs a company called Migro. Migro is it's designed. It's a company that's designed to develop emotional intelligence. And it does it through rewiring or reforming your neural pathways around very positive outcomes to hopefully even out that 10-to-1 ratio of how much energy it takes to preserve a positive memory compared to preserve a negative memory. Now, I'm gonna share a challenge with you that I hope begins to frame out your action steps for 2024. I want to challenge you. I want to invite you to begin the process of rewiring your own neural pathways by, on a daily basis, taking these two very simple actions. And I want you to do this for three things that happen on a daily basis. And I will tell you, this is a habit I adopted about halfway through 2023, and it has completely changed my outlook. It has completely changed how I view my circumstances, my situation, and how my days come to life. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up here in a moment. Here's what I'm after. Every day, I want you to write down 3 good things that happen every day. So I'll give you an example. The 3 that I wrote down, that I wrote down last night. In fact, let me see if I can find mine. I usually do mine between 8 and 9 o'clock in the evening. And let's see if I can find what I wrote down yesterday here on my phone, because that's where I typically keep my my insight, my materials. Let's see if I can find it. I'm not gonna find them here. Oh, here we go. Okay, first good thing yesterday, I landed a contract. I got a big contract that I landed yesterday. I had a really good mentor coaching conversation with the mentor coaching group that I run yesterday. And my third thing was Oh, have you ever had that client? You know who I mean. That one that you're not convinced is making progress. The one that you're not convinced has a good attitude really at all. And that one that when you see their name on the calendar, you go, oh man, really? It's been a month already. You know that client? And none of you have ever had that client, have you? Yeah, no, you can't relate to this at all. Well, I have that client right now. And yesterday we had a breakthrough, that client and me. And that was the third thing I wrote down. So that's the first step. Just jot them down. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Just jot them down. What are the good things that happen to you on a daily basis? But don't stop there. Go to the second step. Add a paragraph or a sentence or two about why this happened, about why it was that the good thing happened. Like, for example, I got the contract that I mentioned to you in the first good thing because I listened a lot before making a proposal. And the pitch that I made was really tailored. You know, I realized that I was able to adapt what I really wanted to put in front of them into something that would really serve them, and then find some meaningful joy when they said, you know what, this sounds great. Let's do this. And we actually kind of met halfway. The mentor group, that was another one. This is a larger mentor group than I usually have. It's 9 people. I usually limit my mentor groups to 6 or 7. And the third session in the group, we hit a groove. We figured out how to talk and who was going to contribute and what the best methods for diving into things were. And it just kind of clicked. And then, well, the breakthrough with my client, I'm convinced, was because I maintained a good attitude about it. I didn't go, well, that client, there's never going to be a breakthrough there. I continued to stick to what we learn in coach training about there being possibilities in front of every client and opportunities for every single client. So I added the paragraph about why this matters, and the why is actually more important, or at least equally important, as becoming aware of the good things as well. Because what you're doing here is you're mapping your thinking, your behavior to positive outcomes, and that is rewiring those neural pathways so that new and better outcomes, more optimistic and confident outcomes, are within reach for you. After about 30 days, you're going to notice a tremendous difference. Yes, it's related to visualization or some of those kinds of things, but it's even more effective because you're using multiple learning systems inside your brain to rewire those pathways faster. After 30 days, you're going to notice all kinds of differences. And if you can stick with it longer, the benefits increase. So if you don't take anything else away from today, as you're planning for 2024, I hope you'll commit to building out a strategy to track the good things that happen and why they happen. And by the way, when you're tracking it, the whys, circle back to what you did to make that happen, because that's the thing that's going to rewire those neural pathways. Now, side note to all this, I didn't really plan to talk to you about what I'm about to say, but side note to all this is a great coaching technique. If you can have your clients do this in between sessions, and then you can get talking about, hey, what did you do that produced good things? You know what you're doing there? You're reinforcing, you're accelerating the development of those neural pathways. And going into maybe this sounds silly, but going into 2024 with a whole collection of new neural pathways, that sounds pretty darn good to me, right? That's kind of what we're aiming for. I would like to rewire my neural pathways in the remainder of 2023, so that I have brand new neural pathways in 2024, and as a result, I have an even better likelihood of getting where I want to go with my practice, with my life, with all kinds of other things as we're thinking about what happens next. So that would be, this is sort of an underlying challenge for you that I'm going to put in front of you, saying this is one of the things I'm going to hope to hear that you've accomplished. I hope I get an email from one or two of you in July saying, you know what, I've been tracking my actions, I've been tracking my good things since December when you were with us at ICF Orange County, and here's what I'm seeing that's different. All right, challenge extended, hopefully challenge accepted across the board. So let's pause here. Let's do what I call a mental cache clearing. I would love to hear from one or two of you, something that resonates with you, something you've got a question about, something that is running through your head. Just to get it out of your head and into the conversation to, if you will, clear the cache. Thoughts, comments, pushback? I'll call on you by name if I have to. Okay, Nanar.
So, I just wanted to share that I noticed that when when you had us go back and to think about, the past, that I feel like I should have had my calendar opened so I can remember like some of the stuff that were good or bad. And so I feel like I should have done some prep work before I came to this call, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, you've got some opportunity to do the prep work now after the call.
Absolutely.
to push into this. And I appreciate, I will just observe, this is what I heard, and this is not necessarily what you're saying, but I heard there's a certain sense of duty to us to make the most of this particular opportunity, to listen in to what we're saying to ourselves and to use that as a way to move forward. I think that's one of the things that is awesome and spectacular about coaches, because it's one of the things that draws us to doing this is we coaches want to make the most of every opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to help other people make the most of every opportunity. So I want to applaud that feeling, because that just affirms everything that is awesome about coaches in general. So thanks for that. Thanks for that. Oh, Gene, I appreciate that. Challenge accepted. Glad to see you will be you will be tracking some of those opportunities. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out. Ann says what we focus on expands. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And going a little bit farther on that extra mile to ensure that we are rooted. Now, I'm gonna say this way. This is gonna sound way worse than it actually is, but I'm gonna say it the way I'm thinking about it here. I'm gonna say to you that, truthfully, when it comes to planning, when it comes to, rising above our current situation, when it comes to making the most of our opportunities and our possibilities, quite honestly, our brain is not really our friend. Our natural neurological patterns really kind of work against us. Especially now that the world has evolved beyond where it was when, evolutionary cycles ago, that we constantly have to think about protecting ourselves. We've got to battle against predators. We don't really deal with that whole protection against predators real often. I don't know how much of that you're dealing with in Orange County, but I will tell you very much. I am yet to be at risk from a wild animal in Northeast Ohio. You know, if it's happened, I wasn't aware of it. Let's put it that way. So my animal brain, my lizard brain that is protecting me like that isn't really helping. So I can definitely appreciate that. All right. Feeling good? Feeling like your brain's clear? All right. I want to root this conversation even more in the positive. And I want to point out, I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes. We'll spend maybe 5 minutes. I want to talk about 5 highlights of 2023 in the coaching industry. So can we treat this next little cycle as a little bit of a celebration of the coaching industry? Because I think we've got, I don't know about you all, but I'm very excited about the state of the coaching industry. Now, Daryl was telling me before we got started that the largest chapter attendance that ICF Orange County has ever had was on a session about how to pass the new credential exam. Yeah, cool. Awesome. I'm gonna make what is a potentially controversial statement right now, but isn't it great that we have a new professional level coaching credential exam? Because I personally would argue that raises the legitimacy of our profession dramatically. I hope I don't offend anybody by what I'm about to say here, but it doesn't bother me at all that the folks that spent 2 Saturday afternoons at the Holiday Inn by the gas station that could call themselves coaches probably can't pass that credential exam. I don't mind that. That's a giant celebration. We're leveling up as an industry, and I am all in on that particular conversation. So let's build on that. Let's go a little further with some highlights of the year in coaching, if you will. I'm going to just put a couple of visuals up in front of you to continue the celebration. Dun, dun, dun. 2023 was the year that the Advanced Certification in Team Coaching, or ACTC, became a thing. If you do any team coaching, I would urge you to consider what the Advanced Certification in Team Coaching might do for you. You too could put that nice looking credential logo on your LinkedIn profile and can expand your coaching practice toward team coaching. This is thus far in my coaching career, being a part of the development of the team coaching core competencies. It's probably the thing of which I am most proud, because that was an opportunity to move forward. Big celebration. So congrats. If you've gone down that road, congrats, but congrats to ICF for again, raising the game for us. Number 2, this is a highlight. Quite honestly, I'm holding back on showing you this one just for a second, because I'm not 100% sure what I think about this one. Is that fair? That I can own the fact that I'm really not 100% sure what I think about this particular this particular highlight. I'm going to choose to see it as a good thing. The rise of coaching platforms. Anybody work for Better Up or Ezra or Coach Hub or one of those? Okay. Yeah. It's definitely putting us coaches to work. There's definitely opportunities for coaches. One of the best coaches I know primarily does 80% of his coaching work for Better Up. And he said, he's an MCC. He's been coaching for a long time. He's got a lot of experience. He says, I wake up and I've got 6 sessions. I didn't market or work to book any of them. Yeah, it's not at the rate that I would get if I if I set up myself, but I didn't do anything except coach. So I think I like it. And like I say, I don't know. I can't. This has been a highlight of the year I'm scratching my head about what this actually means for us. But it's a part of our reality in this profession. We're growing. The industry is growing, and this is a part of it. So that, in no uncertain terms, is the highlight of the year. How about this one? ICF Converge. Anybody else go to ICF Converge this year in Orlando? Wow, not a single person in this particular gathering was there. Well, that was one of the breakouts that I went to. August in Orlando turned out to be really nice. Who knew? Who would have thought? Turned out okay. The leading minds in the coaching world jumped into good things. By the way, this guy right here in the middle of the conversation, that's a guy named Alex Heideglu. I'm going to put that in the chat area. Alex's name in the chat area, because that's a name you should watch. You should listen for. Alex. Whoops. He's from a company called Ovida. That's one to pay attention. That's just something that's a bonus I'll throw out there for you to pay attention to. Next one. Coaching supervision. Anybody involved in coaching supervision in the group? This is a way that is going to make us better. I'm going to throw you the ICF working definition for supervision: a collaborative learning practice to continually build the capacity of the coach through reflective dialogue. This is another way our profession is becoming more professional. Our industry is becoming more professional. Like mental health professionals are required to be in supervision, are required, a therapist is required to also be in therapy to make sure that they are healthy and this is what we're talking about here. A similar practice for us as coaches is growing out. And it's a little bit different than mentor coaching because it focuses on the coach's capacity to offer a richer and broader coaching experience. So it's not confined to the competencies like mentor coaching is. It's a little bit bigger and broader environment. So that's something to celebrate because it's raising our game. And finally, dun dun dun. Daryl, you knew I was going to say this one. The rise of AI. I generated these two images last night on one of the AI image generating platforms. And the prompt I used was create the person behind one of the AI coaching bots. If it has to be a little scary, that's okay. And this is what it gave me. So if you're not familiar with what artificial intelligence is doing in the coaching industry, there are lots of coaching bots, simulated coaching experiences being generated by software to get folks thinking about what their coaching experience might be moving forward. Now, can any of those do what you and I can do? Nah. But that's the wrong question. Are they providing meaningful support for our clients? You bet. It's working for clients, even though they can't do what we do. So it's something to think about in terms of how you might develop moving forward. Now, I will throw out to you that the training school I run, we use AI to offer better feedback to recorded coaching sessions. And that's been a tremendous opportunity, a tremendous set of opportunities for us to make better coaches faster. And that day's coming where AI is going to, or that day is here and will continue to deliver, where AI will help us get better faster. Now, you're probably not going to look like this guy or this woman when that all happens, but technology is there. Now, there are definitely highlights for us all in a year like this year. And I want to go back to Mentimeter and invite you to reflect even a little further on what those highlights might be. So let me advance the conversation to the next screen. I want you to think about the coaching industry first. What has you the most excited in the coaching industry at this moment? We're going to use this to frame out where you yourself are going. Now, I spent a little bit more than my allotted 5 minutes on the highlights of the coaching industry, but I think we have a lot to be excited about. You know, we are a growing industry that is really making things happen. We are a growing environment where we can partner with clients effectively on a large scale range of opportunities. Like I say, notice in the chat area here, opportunities comes up twice. Educational opportunities, general opportunities. You know, the value of coaching is becoming clearer and clearer. Boy, what a great comment that is. Yeah, you bet. We've got cross-platform support. We're up leveling in some serious ways. My ICF accredited program, right on. Absolutely. Leveraging AI. I appreciate seeing that. Yeah, the technology is cool. Coaching is being recognized. I started coaching in 1997. I've been a full-time coach since 2002. It is 100% easier now than it was even 5 years ago to talk to people about what coaching is. Absolutely. That puts us in a good place. That puts us in a place where we are in an industry where it's happening, where it's upbeat, where there's a lot to be excited about, where we've got lots of good things going on in the course of our day-to-day reality. Now, this year in review process, well, we're working through a year in review process right now. Very systematically, very intentionally, we're going to move to the last phase. We've done a lot of, you know, remember from our hand gestures. You can join me in with them again if you want. We've done a lot of surveying where we've been. And now we're going to move into what's in front of us. We're starting to move into what's in front of us before we get into the conversation in the middle about how we're going to move from one to the other. So I'm going to invite you to think now about your vision for 2024. And we're going to put you into a breakout room here in just a moment. I know I said 5 minutes for the breakout rooms. We're actually going to give you 7, because you're going to be in a breakout room with 2 other people. And I want you to dream about, based on where you were a year ago, where you are today, and where you see the coaching world going as a whole, about the critical vision that you've got in front of you for 2024. What opportunities? And now here's my challenge for you in this conversation. In this breakout conversation, the 7 minutes you've got there, you're going to be with 2 other people. So each of you have about 2 minutes. I want you to identify 1 or 2 or 3 target areas where you might want to put significant energy in 2024. I'll give you my 2 examples. I'm actually changing the way my business works in 2024. For the last 15 years, I've spent 50% of my time as a coach, 50% of my time as a coach trainer. In 2024, I'm going to be 75% coach trainer. So I'm downsizing my practice. Building out what that switch is going to be. Transitioning my business is one target area that I know is going to matter. Because of that, the second area that I know targeting my time to transition my business is going to be an area. Second area is I know I'm going to need to put different amounts of time into developing my team. I have 11 employees. We're going to work together very differently in 2024 than we have since we started in 2007. Those are two of the 3 areas. I'm not sure what the third area is going to be yet, but I know those two need my attention in 2024. That's what I'm hoping you're going to come away from this breakout session with, is some pieces of the pie that you know need your attention in the new year. All right. Any questions? All right. Let's jump into those breakout rooms. We'll see you back here in 7 minutes. I might ask you to report back. I also might not. We'll see how it goes. All right. So we'll see you back here in 7 minutes.
One moment, I'm going to recreate it because I had 4 people in a room.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I mixed you up on that, didn't I?
Add a room. No worries. I'll just move a few people. Move to 4. Move to 4. And then Daryl, if you want to, okay, here we go. I opened all the rooms. Daryl, if you want to jump into a room, please go to room 4.
Okay. It's saying here to join room 3.
Uh,
Is that okay?
and you're already in 3. Got it. Okay, yeah, go there.
Okay. All right, I'll see you in 7.
Maybe we should pause the recording for that period of time.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. So feeling good? How many of you were able to come up with an area or 2 or even 3 that you know need your attention in 2024? Okay. So almost everybody. That's good. That's good. And just on a scale of 1 to 10, how specific were you able to get? Anybody get to the point where they had goals set for 2024? Daryl, you did? Were they ICF Orange County goals?
Actually, it was that as well as a personal coaching goal. So yeah.
All right. All right, good. Now, as we head into our last 10 or 15 minutes here, I want to challenge you to think about how you're setting your goals. Now, everybody loves SMART goals. You know how this goes, right? You know what that whole process is about? Specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, related to your vision, and with a timeline. And all right, we're all friends here. We've been friends for at least an hour now, right? So I can say this to you: throw your SMART goals out the window. I want to give you a better, maybe certainly different, in my opinion, more effective way to set your goals, to set goals that will raise the likelihood that you accomplish them. So coming out of your vision, coming out of what you're dreaming about for 2024, think about goals like this: fast, not smart. Anybody familiar with a fast goal? Have you heard about this? Have you heard of this term? All right. SMART goal. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with SMART goals. Oh, I'm raising my own hand. Evidently, I have a comment I want to make. There's nothing wrong with SMART goals, but I want to challenge you to think about a slightly different process. The acronym around FAST means frequently discussed. If you set a goal, but you don't, this is my worst nightmare as a coach. And I know that sounds dramatic, but it's really not. This is my worst nightmare as a coach. That I'll do, I'll have this session with a client. They'll have a breakthrough. Go, oh man, this is going to change everything. And then they don't talk about it with anybody ever again, including me. So the FAST goal process counteracts that right out of the gate, because the F in FAST is frequently discussed. So when you set a goal, one of the things that I think is a challenge for you in 2024 is to also figure out who you're going to talk with on a regular basis about this goal. Maybe it's your coach. Maybe it's your coaching supervisor. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your neighbor. I have 3 different people I talk with about my goals. And I realized that, well, we've all known each other a whole hour. We've got a lot of history now. I'm a talker. I like to be in conversation with people. So I realized that for me to have the highest likelihood of actually accomplishing the goals I was going to take on, I needed more than one discussion partner to make them happen. So I have 3. Your mileage may vary. You may not need that same strategy. But as you're evaluating what worked well in 2023, what you'd like to see be different in 2024, thinking about who you're going to talk about these FAST goals with is a piece of it. Secondly, the A in FAST is ambitious in scope. I'm going to suggest to you it's got to make you a little nervous. I'll never forget my old friend Dave Kalin a million years ago said to me, if what you're taking on doesn't scare you a little bit, it's probably not worth doing. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? So one of the things you can talk about when you're having these frequent discussions is the fact that this makes you a little bit nervous. The fact that it's going to stretch you. The S, specifically measured. So specific is at the S in FAST and the S in SMART are the same. By the way, I just want to point out specifically measured. Hello. What gets talked about gets dreamed about. What gets written down at least has a shot. What gets measured, that's what gets done. So figure out how you're going to measure this. Now, what's the difference between a metric and a milestone? A metric is how much effort you're going to put into a thing on a like on a weekly basis. I'm going to work out 5 times in a week. I'm not, by the way, but that would be an example of a metric. A milestone would be, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. 5 pounds is a milestone. 10 pounds is a milestone. 15 pounds is a milestone. Metrics are about effort. Milestones about progress. And then finally, transparent for everyone in the organization to see. Now, I would love to challenge you at ICF Orange County. Set a goal to rewire your own, the chapter's neural pathways. Mr. President-elect, I'm speaking to you. Set a goal to rewire the chapter's neural pathways by celebrating the good things and that happen to the chapter members and why those good things happen. If you're going to do that, keeping that front and center in the life of now, I'm making that up. I'm putting unsolicited pressure on Daryl to navigate toward this. If that works for who the chapter is or what the chapter is about, then yeah, do something like that. But make sure you're talking about it consistently, reliably. You're framing things in a useful way for you moving forward. So that's a FAST goal. Now, in the chat area, somebody said, hey, is FAST something you came up with? No, I did not. This is from the MIT Sloan Business School. There's a couple of professors there that tied, now, get ready, emotional intelligence, which is something I'm a big fan of. I really want to see more coaches understand and apply emotional intelligence. Basic neural reprogramming, which is what we've been talking about with these neural pathways. And well, quite honestly, correlation between goals being set and goals working. And the goals being set ratio between goals accomplished and goals being set ratio for SMART goals, it's only about 20%, even in the most motivated of organizations. It's about 45% when you use the FAST goal framework in motivated organizations. And individual goals, the dichotomy is even more notable. So yes, FAST is a little simpler, meaning that there are fewer moving parts, but they're more timely moving parts that really demand, in a lot of ways, demand that you pay attention to the right stuff. So FAST goals, not just SMART goals, set you up for moving forward in the most meaningful ways going forward. So I just want to challenge you to think about what you're doing slightly differently. Slightly differently. How does the transparency translate for the individual versus the organization? Great question, Wendy. I appreciate you throwing that out. In an organization, if I'm the CEO of an organization, I'm going to make sure that everybody knows what my priorities are. If I'm an individual, I'm going to make sure that not only am I frequently discussing my FAST goals, the transparency means that the people whose opinion I care about know what my goals are and they can see me making progress on it. Now that's the critical thing. I hate that this is the reality. Because I think in 2023, we would like to believe, and probably going into 2024, we would like to believe that we're above caring about what some people think and what other people don't, and not what other people. I think we would like to believe that we, citizens of the world aren't affected by that thing, by that reality. Say it with me now. Bull. Okay, I won't say it, but we absolutely do. So transparent for everyone to see means that the people you care about for this particular goal can see the good things happening, or can see you making the effort. That's probably more important. Can see you making the effort toward the good things. And if that doesn't mean that everybody has that circumstance, okay, that's how it goes. If it means that some people know and some people don't, that's probably okay too. But the ones that do know what you're working on have to be people about whose opinion you actually give a rip. Not to put too fine a point on it. Okay? Great question. So all of this in mind, I want you to go back to, I want to begin this idea of being transparent for everyone in the organization to see. And I want you to go back to your Mentimeter screen just for a moment. And as we wrap up, so Daryl, as I get ready to throw this back to you, I'd love to hear about your biggest learning priority for 2024. What's the thing that you know needs your attention that you're going to consider putting a FAST goal in front of? Maybe it's something that didn't go quite the way you wanted it in 2023. Maybe it's something that was an incredible success in 2023, but you realize you got more in the tank for. Maybe it's something that when you think back to where you were on December 31st, 2022, you think, you know what? I've got a bigger set of opportunities in front of me. Health first, wealth higher, right? Expansion. Yeah, right on. Right on. Thinking about exactly what this might mean for you. Asking, oh my goodness, asking for referrals. Yes. Practicing positive intelligence. Okay, studying for the ICF exam. Yeah, good one. Whoever put studying for the ICF exam into the room. I'm going to put a before we ring off here. I'm going to put a link in the chat. This is the best free resource I know for studying for the ICF exam. This is a credentialing exam prep course put together by my friend Christina Rulli, who is a PCC coach in, she lives in Germany. She works for an organization called Solutions Academy. This is a free prep course. There's the link in the chat area. If you're studying for the ICF exam, work through that process. You'll be glad you did. It's free. By the way, it's free, and they promise not to put you on their mailing list. So you're not going to get 75 marketing emails from them asking you to buy their product. They are doing this altruistically as a gift to the wider coaching world, and that tool is really good. Big fan. Learning more coaching. Okay, right on. So with that in mind, let's just recap what we did, and then Daryl will wrap us up for the day. We thought back to where we started the year. We celebrated some of the things that went well and acknowledged some of the things that didn't go well. We worked extra hard to celebrate the growth, the development, the upbeat things in the coaching profession. And we started dreaming about what we'd like to see different in 2024 compared to 2023. I want to end our conversation by really encouraging you to think about that, that tension area, that area where you've acknowledged what happened in 2023. You've dreamed a little bit about 2024, and you're thinking about how to move between the two. That's work that's still to be done as your year in review continues. And those 3 good things on a daily basis, with the why the 3 good things on a daily basis actually happened, will make it even more likely that you actually accomplish the things that you're thinking about as you review 2023 and begin to dream about 2024. The stage is set, my friends. The world needs coaches. The world needs you to be as on top of things as you possibly can be in your coaching practice. And the world will only be made a better place by you capitalizing on those learning priorities that you threw into Mentimeter. Thanks for the conversation. Can't believe it's been an hour and a half already. Appreciate you having me. Daryl, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan. And thank you for all of you being here today on this. Again, I said this is our last Tuesday session of the year. We only have one event coming up, and that is our holiday party next Thursday, which is December 14th. I'm putting in the chat room the link to our events. Even though I say this is the last event of 2024 with our thing, we do have some events already scheduled for 2024. I invite you to click on that link and register for those. Again, Jonathan, thanks for being with us. It's great to have you and your experience and your knowledge and your humor. and just your authenticity to being with us this morning going into the afternoon and everything, and great conversation. I know even when I was in the breakout room about things that you've had us think about, and that's always good. It's always good to have these things that are not just always theory but also practice, and this was kind of a combination of both of those and everything. So also for our actual members of ICF Orange County who are here today, the election is still open. Look for the email for that, for officially selecting the slate of your new board for 2024. And again, I just want to make sure to invite you again personally for our holiday party. It's going to be at Tavi Art Gallery. It's an art gallery in Huntington Beach, and we're going to have a great event of acknowledging any of our new credential holders for ICF, as well as introducing the new board, and as well as just celebrating, as Jonathan said, all the things that we've done this year. I think we had kind of a record year. We had something like 67 events throughout the year, on average 7 or 8 things a month, which was great. We didn't even take a month off this year like we did. I think next year we're going to. It was a little hard on the board to do 12 months of activities and everything, and of course to return to
Did you say 67 events?
Something like that. I forget what it was. We have at least 5 or 6 events. You know, we had a coaches supporting coaches event twice a month, and we had the Tuesday session. I know one of my colleagues here, Ann Kelly, she did a 3-week in a row session on ethics, one of those fun topics of ethics, as well as the coaching agreement. And of course, we have a monthly mixer for those who are local. We meet at a local restaurant or bar just for a non-structure, non-agenda, just to get together. And with those events, non-alcoholic drinks and appetizers are on the board. And of course, if you want to imbibe in something a little stronger, we ask you to pay for those drinks. And of course, we have our in-person chapter meeting that takes place usually on the 3rd Thursday of the month in Irvine. So lots of stuff coming up for the new year. We're excited about that. But as we are winding this year down, I wish all of you a wonderful, happy holiday season, whatever you celebrate during this month. And I think that's all I need to say now. Maybe as we're logging out, if you want to put into the chat room again any kind of your little aha moments or the things that really got you excited today about hearing this, you can go ahead and put that in there as I bid all of you a farewell, happy holidays, and hope to see some of you next Thursday, December 14th, at our holiday party. That is limited to 40 people, by the way, and we do have registrations already being booked on that. So the sooner you get registered for that, the better. And for those I've never had a chance to meet in person, I'm looking forward to meeting you, shaking your hand, maybe giving you a hug if you're into that next Thursday as we gather at Tavi Art Gallery in Huntington Beach for that end of the year event. And again, thank you all for being faithful participants here and members of ICF Orange County. Whether you're an actual member of the chapter or a guest or a visitor to this chapter, we're so thankful that you join us. And again, Jonathan, I bid you and your family and your loved ones a happy holiday season, and we will see many of you in the new year.